Star Wars 7 by 7 episode 2864. It's a What to Watch Now episode, it being Saturday, and we generally do these things on Saturdays. Today I want to talk about the documentary that was released on May the 4th. It is just fantastic. Punch it! Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7 by 7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So there was sort of a documentary thing, Disney Gallery, for the Book of Boba Fett that was released on May the 4th, but that's not the one that I'm talking about. We will eventually, of course, talk about that on the podcast. But for today, I'm talking about Behind the Mac, which is a documentary about Skywalker Sound, and it's produced in cooperation with Apple because there's a lot of Apple stuff that gets used in the production of the work that Skywalker Sound does. And there are moments there when they show people working on stuff and there's a quick little subtitle that says, like, you know, external hardware and software being used, so it's not necessarily all Apple stuff. But that was just a weird little thing that I saw that I was like, oh, how funny, they actually made a point of calling that out. It runs for less than 17 minutes, so, I mean, yeah, you could just watch it real quick. It's not going to take up a heck of a lot of your time. It starts off with a black screen and with sound from various Star Wars stories and asks you if you can tell what Star Wars story you are hearing when you hear the sound and when you're hearing it, as a means of demonstrating just how iconic some of the Star Wars soundscape is. And I think I at least identified R2-D2 from Return of the Jedi as one of those things. Spoiler alert, I guess. And funnily enough, recently I had a brief exchange on Twitter with Dunk of Club Jade because she had tweeted something about achievement unlocked, being able to tell what Star Wars movie was happening just by the sound that was happening. So a similar kind of thing put me in mind of that. But I am digressing a little bit. So there are a number of people interviewed over the course of the 16+ minute documentary who all share their enthusiasm and passion for what they do. They are artists and sound designers and sound mixers, sound designers and sound librarians, and Foley artists get involved in this too. And if you are paying close enough attention in places, you get to see moments where they are scrolling through sounds, libraries of sounds on screen. And I took a couple of screenshots because I was like, this is amazing just to be able to read through all of the files and the naming and the descriptions and whatnot. I mean, yeah, so cool. Most of the people who are interviewed for this worked on Star Wars projects. I think there may be one or two who work on different projects, haven't necessarily worked on Star Wars projects. You figure that they would have mentioned them in the little chyron that shows up the lower third identifying each of them if they had. But there's some big projects that everybody's worked on even outside of Star Wars. And in fact, they say in there that Skywalker Sound works on something like 200 productions a year, which is just astounding. Some of the highlights for me include Tom Myers talking about Revenge of the Sith and the implementation of Order 66 and how there's so much stuff happening on screen. He said that there's as much as 1,000 different sound elements happening, and so because it gets so overwhelming that they actually made the choice to kind of mute the sounds so that you would really get the emotional impact of the scenes where the clones are turning on the Jedi. Then there's Ryan Frias, hopefully I got that right, Ryan, taking you on a trip into their control machine room and seeing all of the servers that they have going. He said that they have a library of something like 720,000 sounds overall, just amazing. And about how when they're on the mixing stage that all of these servers that he shows off are all, you know, working together to help create the mixes at one time. It's, yeah, just mind-blowing stuff. Also Shelley Roden on the Foley stage, who talks about how the Foley stage is like a magician's store and a thrift shop and a mini golf course all put together, which is great fun. And also Bonnie Wild, who kicks off the documentary, and she's showing sounds from The Mandalorian Season 2 and The Last Jedi, and I think she has basically identified what could be the new Wilhelm scream. There's a metal wobble sound that she says she's trying to work into just about everything that she works on, like when you see a piece of metal flying away and it wobbles. and you get to see two examples. One is when the Mandalorian ship, the Razor Crest, is flying into Trask, and it's been all damaged from its attack with the spiders, right, in the previous episode. So this would be chapter 11, yeah, I guess. And as it's flying down, a metal piece wobbles off, and it's a similar sound, or the same sound, as when in The Last Jedi, Poe kicks down on the floor of the speeders, and a piece pops off and his foot goes right through the bottom of those ski speeders, and you hear the metal wobble as it goes away, and it's just killing her to have it in there. So it's so much fun. And now, of course, I want to pay attention to other Star Wars storytelling and see if I can identify that metal wobble in other places too. Anyway, so there you go. It is called Behind the Mac about Skywalker Sound, and I will put the link for it for watching it on YouTube in the show notes for this episode, and also at the blog post for this episode at sw7x7.com. So that's what I've got for you on today's episode of the show. Hope you check it out. Would love to hear what you think about it, and that's going to do it. So thank you so much for joining me for this episode as always, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.
Star Wars 7x7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.